What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back, and I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that, guys. But what's going on, man? It's Eric here. What we're gonna do in this workshop, I think this is like 4 or 5, whatever. We're gonna quickly just kind of talk about some topics that I think a lot of you new guys, especially, should know. That may not know, or you may know already, but you still should kind of keep this in mind. Not gonna do nothing too hands-on today. My internet acting kind of crazy with AT&T. I don't know what's going on. They're supposed to be sending me some new equipment. But as I mentioned in the chat room today, I mean, it's been shutting off of me. Not only just the internet too, but my system has been acting crazy too. But anyways, so I'm not gonna do nothing like on screen interactive for you. I'm just gonna talk about a few topics that I wanted to discuss with you guys. But we will review the trades I took today. Today was a great day, good day. Not for the market overall, but good day for us. We travel, we trade. But yeah, I mean, EFTR, I believe the trade, EFTR was the trade. It was like $7,000 trade made today. Great. Had a little pops here and there with the other 3 trades I took, but we'll cover all of those just to kind of review them, look at them. But today was a great day. I mean, congrats to a lot of you guys. I know like Mike and some of you guys are making bank today off of that alert alone. So kudos to you guys. I mean, a lot of you guys already experienced and do better than me anyway, but still, and thanks for helping out the new people as well. But other than that, just kind of sit back, listen, guys. What I'll talk about today, we'll get this knocked out, and it's fairly simple, straightforward, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. Just been kind of running around and things going crazy, one thing after another, so we'll get to it. But anyways, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was the time of day when it comes to day trading. Okay, a lot of you might not have the ability to sit in front of your computer all day, and some of you might get the misconception that you may need to sit in front of your computer all day. Now, although that would be great, or would be the case if you had the ability to do so, but it's not ideal. Okay, you should be taking breaks. Me personally, usually I like to be done trading by like no later than 11 o'clock Pacific time. When I'm not traveling, I'm on the West Coast time, because that's where I live at now. So I try to be out of there before then, which is about an hour or 2 before the market close. Every now and then I might stay after hours, but 11 is like the longest I want to stay. I'm usually trying to get out of there by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get, y'all know me, I like to get my money early, especially in pre-market, and get out of there, and then just listen around for any alerts that might go off, or something that might be running that might pique my interest. And so I pull it up on my phone and I see it, might hop on a laptop or a computer, pull it up, let it sit there and see if it's about to form something that I'm gonna want to trade. But that's usually me, okay? But there's key hours in the market that you need to be paying attention to. And as time goes on, and I get access to the computer again and can actually record, I'll kind of do it more visually for you guys. But pre-market, opening bell, power hour, and after hours. Those are the 4 main things you need to be, mindful of when trading. And I'm gonna go into each one of those sections. When it comes to, and this is gonna pertain to the alerts as well too. So those of you who are, getting alerts and getting the watch list, this is gonna tie into that. So when it comes to, we're gonna go in, chronological order here. So let's first start off with pre-market. With pre-market, key points in that one is going to be right when pre-market opens, which is 1 a.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. or I'm sorry, 3 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. I'm sorry, I'm tripping, man. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I've been up since 1 a.m. All right, 1 a.m. Pacific time, 4 a.m. Eastern time. That is the key crucial part in the beginning, because usually what's happening is whatever's on the watch list, a lot of times what's on the watch list, whether it be my watch list or the admin's watch list, is usually carrying over from the previous day. And that's usually stocks that either had a strong close at the end of the day, or stocks that have a lot of momentum and things like that in the after hours the day before. Usually those stocks will have some continuation into pre-market, and they'll make their moves first thing when pre-market opens, okay? So you'll see that a lot of times, especially on my watch list, back burners, those are the stocks that are moving next day in the morning. which is, you should be alert, which is why the watch list is coming out for you during the day for that following next day. Continuation happens a lot. So that's the first few minutes. I would say maybe the first 30 minutes to an hour in the market, pre-market. Now, the next important part of pre-market after 1 a.m. is going to be 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., which is 6 a.m. East Coast time. Why? Because you got to remember, only certain brokers can open up at a certain times and make trades during that extra few hours in the pre-market. Then you got the other brokers who pre-market hours are typically, like 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, or 6 a.m. Eastern time, like Robinhood, or maybe like Fidelity and other full service brokers. Now those traders are coming into the market during that time, which is where you'll see massive movement on a stock in pre-market, helping to set the tone for what the day is going to come into. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're trading. That's why a lot of times you'll see a lot of activity happening during 3 a.m. hits, or it's usually between 3 to 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. 6 to 7:30 a.m. Eastern time is when the pre-market movement is happening there. Okay, so 1 a.m. 3 a.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. to maybe 2 a.m. Then there's a little break. Then the next set of pre-market brokers are opening up, causing movement in the market. Okay, so when you're in your trades, keep that in mind, because then you'll see volume start to come in, orders being placed, movement being made, things like that. Look at that. Support is going off after hours. John, I think you said support was going to go move after hours too. I just got that alert. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at there. So that's pre-market. Let me get up. My back's hurting. After pre-market, then you got probably the most important part of freaking, the trading day, which is the opening bell. Now, opening bell obviously is usually 9:30. It is 9:30 in the morning, Eastern time. So keep that in mind. 7 or 6:30 here, West Coast time. So the reason why that is important, because you're going to have everyone in the market, looking, trading, waiting. You got those traders that are waiting for those gap and go scans. You got, traders who are, just waiting for the brokers to open and things like that. People oversee all that stuff. So that is a very, very important part that's probably the most important part of the trading day, okay? Me personally, I don't like to hold from pre-market into trading hours unless there's things that I see, which I go over in the course, but rarely will you see me carry a stock over in from pre-market into opening bell. It's just crazy to me. Too much activity going on. I like to wait, slow down, and measure my time precisely when it comes to my trades. So there's that, opening bell. Now usually this movement and activity is going to last from the opening at 9:30 Eastern time for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, okay? And then you have the lunch hour, which is when things typically slow down. So if you're trading, stock is moving, blah, 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 just expect the way that it's trending or the way that it's trading is going to stay that way probably until the end, until power hour, roughly. So for example, if a stock like AMC is downtrending, trading down, being beat down, it's bearish territory, more than likely it's going to probably stay that way until some news comes out or, something happens to change that. But usually that's the case, okay? Not always, but most of the time it's the case. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes, so you don't need to be, let's say the first few hours within a trade, you're losing. If that wasn't part of your strategy, whatever, just cut your losses and move on. Don't sit there and wait, hold on and hope. Wait for your next setup. Just want you guys to keep that in mind. Trading hours matter, okay? Consequently, too, a lot of times the way that the stocks open up is usually the way that it ends. For example, like today, market opened up horrible in the red. it closed the same way. There was no indication that it was going to change throughout the day. For us, in our alerts and everything like that, it was probably a great day for us, a lot of you. Ended green because obviously we're, we have our thing that we do. we green while they red, but yeah. So the way the stocks opened up, they were opened up red and they stayed red all day. Typically, it happens unless something macro can happen, like the president might announce something, changes the market. Some event might happen, changes the market. A lot of things can change the market, but a lot of times without some kind of catalyst, it's going to stay the way it is. Don't fight the trend. Trust me. Don't fight the trend. So that's pretty much opening bell to lunch hour, and you can take your break, chill out. I'm usually trying to be done by then. Now, next time I want to come into the market, power hour. Now, power hour is the last hour before the closing bell of the trading day. Okay. The reason why this is important because a lot of stocks that don't trade after hours, the movement and activity during the last hour of the day helps determine what could possibly more than likely happen for the stock the following day, depending on how the market acts. Okay. So for example, if power hour comes, if you don't see any movement in the stock, it's probably going to stay stagnant. Probably won't trade after hours, but it'll stay stagnant the next day until a catalyst hits. But if you see something that's trending up, or it's the end of the day, like let's say it's been gradually being beaten down, but at the end of the day it's starting to go up and go up, that's kind of reflecting the true sentiment of the market on how they feel about the stock a lot of times. And so, as a stock is trending up towards the end of the day, it's a good chance that continuation can happen. Whether it trades after hours or not, it could still happen the following day. So that's a strong indication of, how traders and, people feel about the stock truly versus, bulls and bears fighting over, trying to beat it down, trying to, bring it up. It's usually giving the full over and tail about the stock. Power. That's why it's called power hour, because a lot of stocks are moving to end the day the way they want to end and reflect how they truly feel about the stock by then. All right. So that's power hour. Power hour is great. Then there's after hours. Somebody asked me, do I hold stocks from power hour into after hours? Yeah, I do. More than I would carry a stock from pre-market into opening bell, because from power hour into after hours, it's still more of a true vision of how people feel about the stock and how other, traders might feel about the stock, versus as in the beginning in the open, everyone's just going crazy. People who really don't trade don't really, know what they're doing for trading and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll carry a stock from power hour into after hours. The only tricky thing about that is this: you got to be careful because volume lets up. Now, after hours, it's kind of like pre-market when it comes to volume. Okay, volume dials down. There's not a lot of trading going on. Every now and then, you'll have one, maybe two, sometimes depending on the market, maybe 3 or 4 stocks that have a lot more volume than other stocks, and those are the ones that you probably would want to focus on trading, because in after hours, if there's no volume on the stock that you're trying to trade, the order won't get executed until either pre-market or the day before, or the day after, in opening bell. So you got to be careful there when it comes to trading after hours. So keep that in mind. In after hours, you'll usually only see me trading the stocks that are moving heavily in volume after hours, or what's being alerted, because it is moving. We're momentum traders. But anyways. So that's pretty much it. And after hours, you got to be a little bit more scarce, probably with your trades. As far as the quantity and stuff like that you can trade with, you want to make sure that's actually having some movement. Okay. Last but not least, when it comes to after hours trading, I usually look at whatever stock's moving the most. I'm gonna keep an eye on that to see what happens tomorrow. So a lot of times you'll see in my watch list things like that. And in addition to other stocks that might just have some kind of sentiment that I might be looking at, whether it be news or any other catalyst, like maybe on the back burner or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's really my secret to even generating my watch list. As a momentum trader, this is what I look for: momentum. Every other traders look for different things. I see, some of you guys post your watch list in the group, and some of you will send it to me to look at them to see what I think about them, which is great. I mean, I'd be happy to review your stuff. But I just want to kind of give you that idea, those tips and insights about hours of the market and why they're so important, and you don't need to be sticking, you know, being stuck in front of the computer all day. But you do need to know the important hours of the day to be trading. And usually with after hours, the most active part of the trade is like the first 1 to 2 hours after hours. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the importance of knowing the hours to trade. Okay. Uh, Hopefully this video helped you guys out too. Like I said, I'm gonna work on the other stuff we're gonna talk about, resources, setting up brokers. Eventually, I'm gonna roll it into pretty much how I'm trading on a daily basis to kind of end this little workshop that I'm doing for you guys. A lot more stuff in as far as like strategies and setup strategies are all in the course. Don't really have time to be doing all that, which is why that's there. Um, but yeah, hopefully this video helps you guys out. All right, so let's get into the reviews of the trade today, and stay green. All right, let's get into these trades, guys. Pretty much it's gonna be 4 of them that we're gonna recap. Obviously, save the best for last because that's the one that came in last. Based on the way that today went, the market was horrible overall for everyone else except for us, hopefully. Yeah, market ended down today, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through the mindset of how to operate through a down market when you're a bullish trader, and obviously be vice versa if you're a bearish trader in a bull market kind of thing. So without further ado, let's get into this bad boy. All right, let me pull this up here. First trade we're gonna start off with that we executed was BBIG was the first one, I think. Yeah, BBIG. Now this one was a quick little pre-market trade. Um, got a little 1% gain on that. It was like a couple $100. Wasn't too much. Um, going on during pre-market today. It was pretty dead, which is why overall the market didn't do too well. This one I actually got in pretty well right here and just held all the way to right before the bell. I think I was actually messaging Denise as well too in the Facebook group when she said she still had some shares. I was like, yeah, I still have mine too, but I'm gonna try to dump them before the bell, which I'm glad I did. I actually got them out right at the open, which was perfect timing. So, anyways, you guys know me. I'm seeing that cross of the EMA and the volume weighted average price. I'm gonna jump in and right on the green candle, which I did. Didn't see enough pullback for me to want to get out the trade, so I stayed in it because I got into it like pretty much like right there, and then pretty much it just kind of jumped on up, and then I got out right before the bell opened because I didn't want to keep it too much. I mean, I got out right after the bell opened. Spiked up and then jumped down. I got out like right there, so it was a pretty good, decent trade. It was like a 1% gain, not too much. A couple, about I think it was like a little over $100. So it wasn't nothing too exciting there. Um, as far as like breaking down these lines of indicators, I mean, you guys, it's been a while. You should know, what indicators I'm using and things like that. Um, and it just if you got any questions about this particular trade, just message me. I'll kind of walk you through that one. But yeah, pretty simple there. Cross, I already knew, based on a pre-market movement, didn't have too much of a downside left. So entered in cautiously, exit out cautiously. Pretty simple, especially in the bear market. You know, Yesterday was a red market. Today was a red market. Typically, that's going to carry over like that until things start to change. Tomorrow, I think will be a green market. Don't quote me on that, but I assume it will be because we had some good runners today. Usually that'll indicate a change in the momentum in the market overall. Hopefully, so we'll see. But anyways, that was BBIG. Pretty easy. Now let's look at the next one that I got in, which was pretty simple. This one was SPRT. Now we've been all trading SPRT for a while now. In fact, I think John, you had mentioned it, earlier about after hours and how it was going to be a good runner. It definitely did run. Look at that after hours. Kind of wish I would have held this bad boy, but I did. Which was, I mean, good reason because look at that from the open. I mean, of course, it was alerted, throughout the day through the alert system. So you guys, I think Terrence, you might have messaged me, said you had profit on that. I mean, that's good. I mean, even like I said, John, you even called it out. Said, hey, it's going to be after hours running. It darn sure did go up a couple bucks. So good call there, man. But let's take a look at this bad boy here with SPRT. I got in this thing in the morning, then got out. This was pretty much simultaneously trade with BBIG when I did this. which is another reason why I kind of wanted to get in and get out because I didn't want to take two trades at once, especially in pre-market. That's usually very, very risky, um, just because your orders aren't going to get executed as quickly. So if I mean, doing it for me in general is risky, but I like to stay focused on one thing only. I can multitask sometimes, but I don't like to, especially during pre-market. But it worked out well, which is good. And I was very cautious with this one too, here. Even though SPRT is a known runner, I knew the market was slow, so I took my little 2% gain and bounced, guys. Um, it was 500 shares, got me a little $300 profit, and I said that's good. Not gonna try to fight. So at this point, I'm at like 400 bucks during the day. Um, and I'm happy with that. It's not even, you know, barely open and it hasn't even been open in bell yet, and I'm already at 400 bucks just because of pre-market trading. So this one, I kind of bought this one pretty slickly. I got this one on another dip. I seen that it was a solid. I was seeing that the red candles were there. It was still pretty high. I kind of figured it would curve up as because the indication there. You can kind of go through and look at those indicators. You know what they are and you know what they mean. But anyways, I seen that dip coming. I said, oh, that's a good sign. And then the buy order started coming in. Boom, shot on up. Took my profit and then let the rest just tank, which it did, which I expected to do during, right before the bell opened, especially in a bear market. Then I expect that trend to continue until I see otherwise, but I didn't. And look at that. That's what happened. Now, again, as later on in the day progressed, thing just, kept showing, kept showing, kept showing. It kept trying to pop, and then eventually it did. Now, a good thing here, guys, if you were watching the stock all day, kind of take note of this. I mean, if you're looking at the stock all day and you see something like this, resistance, 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 and all this, it kind of basically is trading sideways, right? What you would want to do, whether you're a bullish trader or a bearish trader, depending on how you are, you would probably want to set yourself a reminder or alert when this thing might break $21, or if it breaks 1950, because those are key levels of support and resistance, especially with this thing. You see it popped up, came down, popped up, came down, but it started to consolidate more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Eventually the price is going to break up or break down. Now which one, again, is going to be dependent upon a lot of factors, but you should probably set one or two price alerts for a support area, resistance area, because once it does what it does, typically it's going to run, and you'll be able to notice that by looking at level 2. Okay. So again, John, good call, man. This thing definitely, ended on a good note. If you were paying attention to the video I put out to the part of the video that was in here earlier, when I mentioned power hour, this thing ran exactly during power hour. And as it ended on a great note, guess what? It continued. I literally just talked about this in the videos, guys. Power hour stocks tend to end up good, especially the last 2 minutes. When you ended on a green streak, usually that thing is going to continue. And if the stock itself is not having a lot of volume and momentum after hours, it may very well carry over just into the next day. Okay, so keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much SPRT. Let's look at the third trade that I did, and this one was a little trickier. This one's ARQQ. I played that alert as well too. I think it was halted at one point as well, during that spike up, because I got in right before the spike up. So guys, if you're trying to analyze this, go back and look at the Facebook group and look at the photos that I'm posting during. Those are pretty much how my chart's looking. Once it plays out and I exit and get my profit. So just take a look at those, and you can kind of see all that stuff. Anyways, ARQ was alerted that it was going to be a runner, and it daggone did run. But I only, this was only a 4% gain for me, which is fine. I mean, it was extra, what, 350, um, you know, at that time. So think about this, guys. I already had BBIG executed by this time frame. I've had SPRT executed by this time frame. Now I'm in BBIG. Now here's the tricky part. I know the market is red, right? It's bullish market. Things were a lot of fake outs and breakouts occurring. So I jumped in this one and I rode this one just quickly up right before the pullback. Like right here is when I got out. And you'll see that in the post as well too, for just a quick 4% gain using hotkeys and whatnot. So got in, got out, which was good because look, eventually what happened? It became bearish. Broke that volume weighted average price. The moving average, exponential came down and everything. So I mean, it just pretty much gave you all the signs of bearish indicator, and it stayed there throughout the rest of the day. It tried to break. I mean, it did. It barely barely got over the VWAP, but it didn't break the high of day. That's the significant part about it. Um, you know, that
kind of tells you that, hey, if you don't see it break the high a day, move on with your life, man. Move on or become a bear. It's pretty simple because this thing just stayed down the rest of the day. Guys, there's keys that you want to look at when it comes to stock trading to determine, what can happen with the stock. Now, what kind of pattern is this here? Kind of like to drill a pattern into you guys' head. I mean, it's not really a pattern here. I mean, it's more like at this point from here to here, kind of like a little of a triangle. You can kind of map that out a little bit, but not too much. I mean, it wasn't enough of a pattern to be there just because of the length you would draw it out if you wanted to. I'm not going to go into all that. That's a lot to do. This video's already been kind of long, but yeah, you know, do that on your own time. Get some practice with that. But it's not really a pattern here. So basically, with something like that, you just want to kind of take it by the play of price action, and make sure you're watching that level too. Okay. Um, so that's pretty much ARQ. Let's go to the last trade, the grand finale, the grand slam, the big daddy of all, which was EFTR. Okay, let me pull that up here. So I don't have my camera up either. Freaking, like I told you guys earlier, my data's been acting crazy because of AT&T, and I've been having to use my mobile hotspot to trade on all these computers, and it's definitely drained my battery. So, yeah, sorry about that. But another videos are coming. Now let's look at this bad boy here. Oh my god, guys, this one I like to give my little self a pat on the back for this one. I kind of got out this thing at the peak. When I say peak, I mean peak. I got in at the 20s and got out at the 40th, right before the break. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the replays in level two because you could do that, and I'm actually start implementing that on these reviews here with you guys. I see my order go through it like the peak of the $40 trade, like right up here, which was crazy. I was like, man, I nailed that thing right on time. But congrats to like all you guys who banked on this alert too. I mean, I think Mike made like 15 grand off of that thing. So congrats, and to all you guys that are trading but never say anything but still utilize alerts, congrats to you too. um, it's hundreds of you guys in there. I know you're all busy and stuff like that, but still, I mean, even if you're not trading, just kind of review this and use it as something to kind of grow upon. Okay, even in the chat room, guys, as this one was being alerted, I told you guys too. I said, hey, look, it's gonna pop again. I said if it doesn't break, it's going to pop again. Again, I'm trying to guide you without, I'm just trying to lead you to the door. I'm not trying to make you walk through it. If you know what I mean. Um, that's your job. But if you're doing your homework and reading and all that good stuff and practicing, when you see me say stuff like that or you hear me say stuff like that, it should kind of resonate with you a little bit. Or you should, even if it doesn't, go back and look and review this stuff and say, man, what was Eric looking at that kind of caused him to kind of know that. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. Oops, sorry, I don't want to mess up all that. Try to pull up the freaking chat. Where did I mention it at? That's because I had give it today. I was like, man, excuse me, 3 trades already. I might be done for the day. Then I came back and that alert went off. It broke its high, and we'll review it. And I'll show you here in a second where I got in on the 20s. And I was like, yeah, my internet keeps cutting out. It's been, I mean, it's time for me to stop trading. We were just kind of talking about that stuff in the chat room, right? And then let me see if I can get down to where it was at. Yeah, it's before this. I was like, I got on the 40s. I was at like 5 grand at that time. I ended up with like 7 grand. I know Mike got a lot. Yeah, I was like, yeah, man, too easy. Mike was like, I bought, but that was funny. But anyways, yeah, I was like, yeah, even with my horrible internet, I had to get in this trade. Um, and I said, if it survives this dump, it'll go up again. And like Kim said, oh, Kim was like, okay, to the moon. It was like, and then a few minutes later, what is this? Not even, let's see, 10:26. Like not even 15 minutes later, guys, it did it. And I said, see, I told you so. That was two. It was like a dead giveaway. Looking at the price action. Um, so let's kind of talk about that. It was right here. I mean, it was pretty simple. Um, when I got in. So let me pull this back up. So obviously this thing was alerted a little bit throughout the day, right? Um, let me see if I can find out when that happened because it was earlier where it was halted at like $23 and change um, before, and then we said it was over 21. Let me see, it was testing the high day. Hey, it's testing the high day. This was the first alert, guys. Let me pull this thing up here because y'all think I'm playing with these things, man. Look, EFTR high day 1550. You pull that thing up, right? You look at it. Okay. What I usually tell you guys to do, wait for a setup. It pulls back, nothing's there, nothing's there, nothing's there. It didn't break anything. It went just barely below the volume weighted average price. It's kind of sticking with it. So that's fine. Okay. Keep it in mind, it was alerted to you once, right? Okay, perfect. Now you're just going throughout your day. But you get another alert. It's testing the high days. Okay. Okay, it's testing the high days. It didn't break it. Another alert. Hey, this thing just broke the high days. It's up to like $17. It's up again to like 20, to like $18. I mean, it was telling you. And then eventually that thing just came back down, came back down. Now you can get tricked out by a sell indicator right here, even if you were in it that early. I wasn't in it that early. Again, I didn't get until after that. And by then, the buy signal came there. But this is the thing, guys. These indicators will not tell you the complete answer, the complete picture. You need to be looking at price action. You need to be looking at the orders that are coming through, reading that stuff too, because it's telling you whether or not people are wanting to buy or sell the stock. And, that's what you need to be looking at. And the more you practice reading that, the better you'll get at this because the indicators are just past tense of what happened and what can possibly happen coming forward. The price action will tell you what exactly is going to happen. All right. But anyway, let's get back into it. So that popped up after that popped up. Didn't pay it no mind. Then I'm still just kind of glancing at it. Okay, great, perfect, perfect. Okay, sell indicator comes. Oh, I'm not looking at it no more because you know why? It's in the sell indicator. Kind of at this point, it's off my radar, right? Then we got alerted again that it was halted up at 23, which was like right here. So I'm at this point. I'm like, okay, okay. I was like, you know what? This thing might start to have some little legs. And so at this point, I had got in like the high 20. I think it was like 20 something. Like it was like right here where I had got in, right? And so I was like, okay, set my, goals accordingly. If it breaks volume weighted average price, which is like a $4 move at this point, it was kind of, I knew it was overextended. I'm like, okay, I'm prepared to take that loss if it, goes below where I think it's going to go below. Um, but based on the way the lines was looking, I was like, okay, it's trending up. That's fine. And then I had said to you guys, okay, it's pulling back, but buyers were coming in. They were fighting and fighting and fighting. Even the sell indicator with a sharp dip was like, okay, it's time to sell. But I stuck with it because it didn't break where I expected it to break, which was crossing that volume weighted average price. It was still showing a bullish sign, even in a bearish market, it was showing a bullish sign. I needed to see a bear sign for me to want to close out of it in the bear market the way I trade. But I didn't see that. Stayed bullish, even though this indicator said sell. Still in it, right? Now it breaks the high again. Now I'm really confident. I'm like, oh man, this is great. And then at this point, I told you guys, hey, if this thing holds up on the next turn of the moving, when I said if it holds up, is because by the time it was here, I'm still letting it ride. That's fine. That's fine. I'm willing to take profits. If the sell orders start to fly in, I'm gonna take profits. But as it was coming in, the sell orders at the higher end of the moving average convergence divergence, they were lightening up, and I'm like, okay, well, I said to you guys, hey, look, this thing will pop if it continues to hold. This right here is a great indicator to me because of the fact that there's, green candles right there, buy orders right there on the moving average convergence divergence being red. That's letting me know that still a strength sign too. That's good to know. But moving average convergence divergence stayed red. And then finally, because eventually this has to turn, guys. The averages have to turn. Okay. So it was time for it to turn. And I said, blue. It said blue, 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 blue. I'm like, yep, there it goes. I told you. Because I still didn't take profit. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of being greedy at this point, just because of the way the orders were looking in level two. And I'm looking at the same thing you guys are looking at, whether it be Webull, whether I'm using Dash Pro. I mean, it doesn't matter, guys. Mumu, I mean, the orders are the orders. All right. So there's nothing special that I'm doing that you can't do either to be able to do this. Understand that. I just got a little bit more time under my belt probably than you do. Okay. But anyways, stayed in the trade, stayed in the trade, stayed in the trade, stayed in the trade. Now at this point here, I'm like, okay, this thing is just going berserk. It's definitely caught eyes of people. Short sellers might be coming in. I need to go ahead and secure my profits. It's already overextended. We're already at the high point of the moving average convergence divergence. This right here is showing me that buying power is probably going to start letting up because the previous candle is a little bit still green, but it's still smaller than the other candle. Selling the strength. You want to sell into a green candle. This thing was spinning like crazy. I said, you know what? That's it. All right, go ahead and take my profits run. I'm up 50%. Don't get too greedy, Eric. You let your winners win, and then take your profit. And that's exactly what I did. Perfect. Top of the chain. I mean that was one that I nailed greatly. If I do say so myself. You probably won't catch me doing something like that again, but just understand, you know, that's pretty much what's happened. Let's do this as a quick replay. All right, and we'll do it from the point where pretty much I got it. Okay, let's do it right there. Let's do it right there. Let me pull this. Press play. So this is ideally what you'll be looking at in real time. You know, alerted. Hey, you might want to get in this thing, man. Look at that real quick. Oh, okay, yeah, that's nice. Okay, let me try to jump in. Let me get in. Okay, I get filled. Boom. You know, and this thing just keeps riding and riding and riding and riding and riding. Let me speed this up here for you. Like, if you know your evaluated average price is here, there's no reason for you to want to try to even get out of this stock. If you got in it already at this point. I mean, if you're looking at the orders coming in, they're going to be boom, boom, flying and flying and flying. Obviously, sell signal there, and it starts to, that'll be another good entry point to try to get in. Because look at that. I mean, that's right there is like a $2-3 move. Yeah, I'm not going to go into how you execute those orders, but we talk about that in the course. But I ain't got time for all that today. But anyways, look at that. Still strength. I mean, I can't wait till I start to edit this stuff more and get it more detailed for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm saying. Because I want y'all winning, man. I want you making money. Okay. It's too much of this going around here to keep giving to all these hedge funds. All right. And all these people getting lucky. They ain't putting in the time that you put in to study this stuff. But look at that. I mean, this is just beautiful. But I won't bore you guys with all this. You know how it is. You know how it go. We travel, we trade. I should probably go take another trip. I actually got to go to Michigan in a few days, so I'm not going to do all that. I'm tired. I'm actually getting tired of traveling just for a little bit. I need a break, guys. I want to stay home and just trade. Anyways, so that's pretty much a wrap for the day, guys. Hope this workshop helped out. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, don't hesitate to message me in the Facebook group. If some of you guys are direct messaging me and I'm not responding, you got to tag me in like one of the posts or at me and say, "Hey, Eric, I DM'd you. Can you check?" Because I'm not gonna be sitting there surfing my spam folders. I didn't even know, if, like I said before, Facebook does that. And people that are messaging me you won't get seen to probably like maybe the weekend or 3 weeks because I'm not gonna look in that spam folder for people that are messaging me because robots and scammers are trying to message me too, guys. So keep that in mind. But anyways, hopefully this helped. Great day. Congrats to you guys who banked. I took my 7 grand and walked away. Mike, shout out to you, man, with that 15. That was a big win. 15 grand there. Uh, awesome there. The admin said thank you. they got your little donation, man. They're probably gonna have a pizza party or something like that. But anyways, um, yeah, congrats, guys. Hopefully you all did well. If you have any questions, just let me know. But until then, let's look forward for tomorrow, man. Hopefully it's a green day. It is September 8th, going on September 9th. Hopefully we end this week pretty strong. Aside from what the market is doing, hopefully we end green. All right. So stay green, guys. Take care.